with the Summerland kids. It's someone's birthday today. It's me. It's my birthday. God damn
I was going to sing you the happy birthday song, but I don't know if you want that.
Right?
Because it's kind of embarrassing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So it's July 1st, 2024. It's 65 degrees currently in Summerland with a high of 86. It just says sunny. So it's a real summer day in Summerland today on a sunny 86 degrees. That's a dream day in Summerland.
Yeah, it's that's a warm one. When you're on the beach, you don't realize even those slight little changes above 80, and it really makes it
yeah.
You got to make sure and have a lot of water. I have a couple friends that have been, kind of commenting on the weather, how hot it is, how much water they have to drink. And we got a week set up here in Orville, over 110 all week.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's drastic for sure. What's the nighttime temperature? Does it get like 99 or?
Oh, it cools off at night. It does cool off quite a bit. Let me check that.
Yeah.
But it doesn't go much below like 70, 68, I think, at night.
Okay. That's nice. That's comfortable at nighttime. Yeah.
Even when it's over 110, it still stays below 80 at night. So at least we're not totally sweating all night long. I mean, we do run the swamp cooler at night.
Okay.
Usually until about midnight.
Wow. Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how is this your first official summer or second summer?
Second summer.
Second summer.
April or March, St. Patrick's Day. I believe it was the 16th or 17th when we got the keys.
Second summer. Yeah.
Second summer. It was actually the rainy season, but the rain stopped. We got kind of lucky. The rain stopped for like the one day that we had to move in.
Right. Nice. That's amazing.
So we were able to move.
That's cool. Yeah.
We lucked out.
It's been a pretty wet summer, man. It rained again last night, and I could tell in town looking at some little bit of runoff, coming down where ordinarily, the rain carves its own path. The rain just like, on the side, create like a little river on the side of the roads and run. They said we're at average, I guess, in terms of water, snow. The rain we've been having is pretty substantial. It feels like,
So is that average for the year or average for this time of year? Because I know sometimes you get the late rains and it brings it up to average.
Yeah, but it just seems like it's almost every day. But it'll get feeling it because they had a little outdoor art market vending thing happening, and in the morning it was raining, and I drove by and there were some people were opening up. I'm like, oh man, I hope the weather changes, and sure enough, it did. It got sunny. Most rained at night, and then sunny for the day. Once you're passing, it was a nice day after that. So they were blessed with that, thankfully, because then to popping up in the park with tents and vending art and all that.
No, I always like when it's a little bit rainy, but then the day clears up and it's nice and sunny during the day. There's just a certain feeling and the energy in the air. I guess there's a certain name for the smell of rain.
Definitely.
Which is really, the plants just love it, because they're getting enough water and then they're getting enough sun. So they just like popping off.
Yeah.
It's interesting that it's the middle of June and July and you're getting some rain over there.
It is. Because usually I think they have it like more toward August. They call it like the monsoon season or something like that. So good. Hasn't been crazy, but it's nice to see the river strong still. I imagine it'll take a little bit of an uptick in the river with the snowpack melting off, and then now it's really making it. I would say probably a good year for rafting. We don't have a crazy intense river rafting experience. Not for people to jump on the river raft guides. A few different companies do the river rafting here, so it's a cool summer experience for people who just want to float down the river on a tube, and they have a 2 miles, like a little 2 mile journey, and then there's and it's like a little city park. I got to go check it out. I think they might have a little skate park down there too. And so they have a little place where everyone jumps out. So, yeah.
Nice. You might be, are you thinking about doing the river rafting, or are you waiting until it calms down a little bit, maybe do a float, or is that something off your radar?
I'd wait till it calms down a little bit, because it's brown. It's all that coming off the mountains, man. I can imagine even the pretty intense up on those mountains, and all that mud coming into the river makes it just mess a little bit, So.
Oh yeah, I could imagine. You look at all that runoff from the sides of the mountain washing down.
Yeah, totally.
But still, it's do you even get a dry season? Like, I know California, we have not necessarily a dry season, but we call it fire season because everything's so dry around this time of year.
Sure, they have right down there in the main part of town. There's a National Forest Service can stop by, and they have one of those big charts out front with the arrow that shows like fire danger is. And we have had some fires. I want to say in the hundreds recently, and thankfully I think those guys have got them. As we've had so much rain, that's been helpful, I think, for those guys to deal with that stuff. Yeah, it is a little.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, that's good for sure. So it's we do live in forested area. If you drive a half hour or 40 minutes down actually into New Mexico, it becomes a lot more desert-like formations, and the trees are different types of trees. Maybe they're pinyon, probably necessarily as high as the pine trees that we have, because we have the old pine up here, a lot of ponderosa pine, and those things get really big, like years old plus in some cases, so they're really big old pine trees. And Pagosa Springs has been pretty fortunate. I think it was an old logging community a long time ago, but this is probably over 100 years ago. They were big on logging here, so they did thin it out quite a bit. But 100 years, the forest can really, that's a substantial amount of time.
Yeah. I mean, that's what you expect. Hopefully the forest comes back. And I know with fires, you get, the fire, and then you get the rain.
Yeah.
That'll definitely wash down a lot of the mud. I forget what year it was, maybe 5 or 10 years ago up in Santa Barbara, they had the fires, and then that same year they had all the rain and got the mudslides.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't there for that. I was in Los Angeles, but I remember during that time, and I couldn't make it up there because of the fires. It was like coming down, like, for example, I think in La Conchita, fire was burning all the way down to the freeway, So pretty.
Yeah.
So anyways, yeah, I just had Jason visiting for a month together and got a lot of work done on my grandfather Bill Wagon behind me. And thanks and shout out to J-Bra for the help on that. It was into the office where I'm at now was definitely beneficial for internet research aspect of the project. And there's over 600 pieces in that collection. So it's fun to learn, the 1950s, 1940s comic books, really funny to see, and then look for it on eBay. And then eBay does the cool thing, like just pick a book and take a picture of it. If it doesn't have it, it'll try to find you. So oftentimes the images will be pretty fascinating. It's kind of like you kind of vortex and you find yourself wanting to buy more stuff.
So you're saying you have 600 magazines and comic books in your collection, and I guess you have 600 pictures.
Yeah.
Too now.
Oh yeah. I could probably count them at some point. I'll just run through and count how many shots I took and do. It's definitely because one box, for example, I have to recount that box. Just like there, it says there's 90 fan magazines in, and some of the comic book boxes have like 660 plus comics in one box. So it's pretty surprising. I mean, those comics are pretty, so when you stack them, 20 comics is probably like maybe 20 comics might not even be as big as one of your fingers, like high, or 3, maybe 20 comics. I don't
Wow. So you have 100 or like almost 100 fan magazines that they sent in?
Yeah.
Now, were those ever published?
Limited edition, publication. His name was up in Modesto, California. Craig was a fan from way back when he was a kid. He became a successful, I want to say, architect in probably furniture design. So he was a very successful man in his own right. King got the fan base got recharged in 1978. Aware of that because it got into some newspaper publications coming from New York. So it was kind of major news back then that we're finding out about each other again because it'd been a good, like, let's say 15. So they'd been, let's say they graduated high school, just as an example, maybe they got out of high school in 1964. So by 1970, they were in their early 20s and in their careers and in art because of their roots were they were Katie Keene fans and Katie Keene fan contributors. So the Katie Keene comic when they were teenagers, and then when they became, by the time they were 20 years old, lady in particular, Mary Louise Flusser, was working at Saks Fifth Avenue in New York. And Katie Keene comics at local little yard sales and little swap meets and stuff. The Katie Keene comics again, and then she decided to reach out to the fans and done a thing where he had asked fans to send in their ideas and designs, and when he gave them credit, he put their address and their name below their contact. The kids could correspond with each other and send each other mail too. And when Mary Louise Flusser, she actually wrote 500 letters to fans 15 years after that was published. And she got a pretty return rate on her 500 letters that she sent out. And so those people became charged fans again. And they started publishing. And so they just started one guy, like I said, Craig published the magazine, and then he started to take on contributions and writings from fans. Basically, started subscriptions, and I think maybe it was $5 for the year, but back then in 1981 or something like that, magazine subscriptions were only like $10, $12. Remember that?
Yeah. That's so cool that the fans that created the stuff started getting fan mail or corresponding. But I imagine they got some fan mail where other fans are like, wow, this is such a cool thing that you contributed to the show or contributed to the magazine, the cartoon, and like you're saying, corresponding with each other. I think that's just super cool. The fact that getting all those fan contributions together and making a fan magazine, a fan comic book. That's just ultimately ultra cool. I mean, you see it a lot with the Star Wars. I don't know if you watch the Star Wars, but you get a lot of fan movies. A lot of fans will create movies or shorts or, documentaries or info about the Star Wars. So I think that's pretty cool. I think that's a part of culture that I think maybe we're missing out in the modern era with, influencers. Influencers are saying this or that, but how often is it a community collaboration? I think that even though it's easier, it seems like there's so many top level stars that it feels kind of intimidating to become a creator at times.
I know for sure, and I think that I mean their designs were often sometimes they were incredibly polished. Young, it's pretty amazing how a 12-year-old kid
Oh, Jericho, you're frozen totally on my end. I don't know what happened, if we lost you or if you're just not coming through on my side. So I guess I'll talk. I was going to say, I got to take a little, I got to go hit the little boys room real quick. Woo, I lost Jericho. So I don't know what we're going to do here. I guess we'll just sit here and be alone. I've done this before. But I'm going to be right back. I got to go to the little boys room. I'm so sorry, everybody. Woo! Okay, I'm back. I did see Jericho pop in for a second. Let's see if he's trying to come in again. But it happens. We're on episode 61. We're still having some technical issues. We're learning our way through it. I figured by the end of 100, we'll be even better. Oh, here, let's see if this works.
Yeah. Trying to jump in.
I have your audio, so if we can continue the conversation, that'd be great.
Trying to get on with you. Can you hear me?
You're here, but no video. At least
Okay.
on my end. I don't know if we're going through the system.
Yeah. So you can hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, we're running on Restream, winging a prayer, rocking it.
Hey.
Yeah.
We got I think we got half a chance. If not better than half a chance.
Yeah, exactly. So we are rain or shine, we keep rolling. So anyways, we were talking about the fan contributions and stuff. It's amazing. But the thing is, we're not getting any younger, and you know, it's like one of those things where connecting with the fans is now more important than ever. It seems like.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I
So
mean, you see it on the live stream
and Twitch, and
whereas a big part of the live stream is conversing and connecting with the chat stream.
can you hear me?
Put in the chat, you can comment and stuff on it.
I'm gonna jump out and jump back in because I got good bars here.
All right, we're still having a bit of technical difficulties, but that's okay because it gives me time to goof off. And something I like to do sometimes is just goof off, and I think everyone should goof off every now and then. And he's coming back. Let's see if we get him. We got him.
we got him.
No video.
You got it on video? I'm frozen though, huh?
No video. You just got the black screen.
Black screen.
Now, oh, there you are. We're doing the sideways thing. I like that.
Let me try to jump back. Let me jump back and jump back on.
Three's a charm. Three's a charm. We're doing this. Why we keep pushing forward? Because that's what we do. Otherwise, we just sit here, you know, doing nothing. Something's better than nothing. Okay, here he is. He's.
I can see you. I can't see you, but I can see myself.
I can see you.
Okay, good.
What's the best way? This one or this one?
I can't see you. Anyways,
no.
The life and times of a streamer, you know, trying to get on with the everyone's saying good things about Starlink. That's one good thing I keep hearing about Starlink is a good connection.
Hey, you know, I guess sooner or later, your dad said he wants it, right? He wants internet.
Yeah. It's just, you know, stomaching that cost. And then like, I guess there is a local installer, you know, someone's always hip to the scene to like, you know, whatever's trending it's a good thing to be a part of trending, of course. And so since Starlink is trending in terms of user, you know, thumbs up on the user end. So there's a guy who's doing local Starlink installations, and so anyways, we'll see.
How much does that cost to get the Starlink equipment and the service?
Well, you know, I want to say it might be $150 a month. You know, on the monthly. I'm just guessing. It's not $99. I know that it's above that. So, you know, to justify that cost, we'll see. I mean, I'm not sure yet myself, because you know, a handful of other you know, internet providers here. It's funny because it's like they might as well be like little cell phone companies or something like that. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Which, you know, some little cell phone companies, people love it because it's like the old thing, you get what you pay for in terms of that's just the bottom line. But I don't know, man. I mean, there is like multi-tiered payment options as well. Like how fast of internet do you want? Which coming off of the technology that we have is essentially, at least at our place, is a freaking phone line. So how amazing can you be on a phone line?
It's gonna be like that old AOL dial-up. You're gonna take 10 minutes just to connect and 3 hours to download, you know, one email. You're gonna take all day to download one song. If you want a movie, just leave it on for the next week. You might end up with it.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the funny side of it. And then another community, because we're Archuleta County, I guess La Plata is the next county over, and that's where Durango, Colorado is. So over in La Plata, they're having some broadband fiber type, I guess, you know, some sort of buried cable that has like is a you know newish technology, but they're saying like by the time they get that cable installed, is that going to be outdated? You know?
Yeah, it's moving fast. You know, I mean, when we were kids, would you ever have imagined that? Oh, we have, you know, SpaceX going into space 40 times in a year. that we have, multiple different private space companies like Blue or whatever, like the Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos got their own space company, that we would have internet technology coming from satellites and fiber optics and streaming movies. I mean, when we were kids, if you could imagine, I imagine what the kids are going through these days, where you can just stream whatever you want, live stream, face time and all that.
I know. I mean, it's really come a long ways. I mean, we were just stoked to go to the freaking arcade and play Tempest and freaking Asteroids and Defender and all those games, Miss Pac-Man, all that crap.
I forgot about Tempest. That was one of the best ones ever.
I know. I love Tempest. It was like that little, you had like some little grid and you went back and forth and you were firing away. That was amazing.
Yeah, that was like new technology. Instead of the buttons and stuff, you had a spin dial as your controller.
That's
and I was like, whoa, that's the coolest one ever.
I know. So it's like we were just so stoked to spend 25 cents and ride our bike to the arcade. But then, of course, the advent of the home arcade system, which is not then, it was definitely far less superior to the arcade experience. But I know it's come up a long way since then. I mean, what for our arcade experience was now looked at as super retro.
yeah, you can get the retro. I know that I was looking into it when I was doing the vending machines, looking at some of the robotic games. So they got the VR where you're inside of a VR, either a big screen or a VR, and it's on a robotic arm.
Oh, wow.
So you're inside the game, whether you're, flying a spaceship or something, and you're actually going through it, feeling, woo, 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 as you're playing the game. And you shoot something, go explosion, you shake, it shakes. And I haven't tried one of those yet, but I definitely, if I see one, I'll probably give that a try.
Yeah. The VR headset thing is actually awesome. My cousin has a little setup that he does, like sometimes a little morning workout. So it's like, you put the headset on, you have these little controllers in your hands, and you're able to, pop bubbles or just get your mojo action on. Your heart's racing, you're seeing what's going on. You're more or less immersed in a three-dimensional, virtual world in your own kitchen. You just switched gears. Now you're on Mars doing a workout.
That's hilarious. Because that's so hilarious. Because I remember when the Wii first came out, or I think it was Sega or Sony had the iToy, which was actually a camera, and you'd be on the screen, or your character would be on the screen. And, just that, when that technology came about, it was like, wow, even like the Nintendo Wii, the older people are like, yeah, we could play, and you're actually getting some physical activity while playing the game. I think that's a very positive aspect of some of the VR, because I've seen kids nowadays, they'll sit for hours playing the game. Me, I'm old. I got a bad back, a bad neck. So, even a half hour or 45 minutes of playing pinball or playing a video game, next thing you know, my low back's hurting, my neck's hurting, my feet are hurting. But I guess, we're getting older, Jericho. You're what, 54?
54. 54 now, man.
This year. Happy birthday again.
Yeah, thanks, bro.
Big shout out. Like and follow us, for Jericho's birthday.
Absolutely. It's birthday
share us out.
Yeah, and let's see. This was episode 61, I believe, right? Or what?
61. I changed the number finally. I always seem to forget it on our live streams. I always get to it by the time I upload to YouTube, but sometimes I'll go through on the uploads and be like, how come I have 3 of them that are the same episode? And I'll look and I'll be like, I'm wearing a different shirt. Jericho's got a different hat. Yeah. This can't be the same one. And then I look, I'm like, oh yeah, because I'll have the description and I'll be able to just, check the date.
Totally.
The date is a dead giveaway because the date will change.
Right. Yeah, we're rocking. It's a little overcasty right now out here, but it's nice and it's still comfortable. It's amazing the climate is it's comfortable out here, but whatever. Colorado.
So you got like a cell phone booster at your house?
Yeah, cell phone booster. Exactly. So that's last night I was going to get on, and see what's up. But I decided, there was a thunderstorm and lightning rolling through. And I'm like, I think I'll hold off on that because I could see the lightning hitting my little booster tower and freaking lighting up that thing. So I just
You
like
might
held
have to
off.
get that thing a try one of these days. Maybe off stream, off a live stream,
Yeah,
just to see how it works with the booster.
I
You
know, I
know,
know exactly. Or just I can go live from on top of the hill because like right now I got 2 bars, but it was fluctuating in the office to 1 bar, and that's not quite enough. I think 1 bar we start to sort of get shaky or something.
yeah. You skipped out a couple times, and then
Yeah.
you ended up totally dropping out. So
Right.
um,
Yeah.
it'll
So
be
I
fun to test it, though.
I know, and I will upcoming just to jump. Like this is our second time. Um, I think I did one live appearance from Denny's restaurant on the road that one time. So
Uh-huh.
oftentimes it is almost better to be in an unobstructed, outdoorsy type atmosphere. At least here in Colorado, because in what this town Pagosa Springs that I'm in, cell phone service is a touchy, funny subject up here. You know,
Yeah,
so
I know that when I was um before I moved, we had wireless. We got wireless here, but I would hang out in my camper. We had some friends over helping me do some stuff, and so I would hang out in there and listen to my music. And I had to set my either my phone or my laptop up to the window because
oh
just that camper shell wall would totally block out, even though everywhere outside of the camper had really good signal. But as soon as I stepped inside to those walls, it really cut it out. Cut the
yeah, no, exactly. It's the same thing. I mean, downtown here, we have a new. It's a coffee shop that relocated. I've been in there a couple times now. It's called the Lift Coffee Shop, and they're always saying, "Do you want the Wi-Fi? Do you want the Wi-Fi?" Like, no, I'm okay. But T-Mobile thankfully is sometimes better than Verizon. It goes back and forth on who's actually getting the signal and who's not. Um, so, anyways, but thankfully I can limp along at home with my cell phone booster. But you know, once I get some more money coming in, maybe I'll step up to the next level and blow the hundo a month on the internet bill.
Yeah, maybe get a little job at that coffee shop.
I know, right? Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm thinking about. Yeah, now it's all about the jobby job and see what's up. I might go to the there's a comic convention. It's actually kind of a, what do they call it? It's gaming, comics, what else? Cosplay, uh, probably some new TV show stuff. So it's a like a fan expo in Denver on the 4th, 5th, and 6th. So we'll see. That could be a maybe shot to go hit that up. Um, go see what's up with it's at the convention center in Denver, and I think they get 100,000 people per day.
Oh
Um,
wow.
yeah, so it's a big convention. It would be cool. It's important. In my situation, to immerse myself in the stuff I'm working on. Even though the stuff I'm
Yeah,
working
maybe
on,
you get a job or something
I know
related to that.
you never know. I mean, you never know. And I finally, since since J-Braw's gone, I'm back in the container myself a little bit more. Just I reorganized and regrouped the whole the container, so it's like my outdoor office space, and so that's kind of nice to have an art studio space where you feel like, okay, I'm back. I can be creative and be in the creative space, in the mind space, to be able to be creative again.
No, that's awesome.
Yeah,
I'm
because
looking
it's
forward to how everything develops,
yeah,
brother.
me too, me too. Well,
Well, we
cheers,
got
man.
we got we got our 30 minutes. We're a little
Yeah, we
bit
got our
past
30 minutes on, and
the
we've got a
hour.
few bonus minutes. And sorry, thank you guys for holding on with us through our trials and tribulations of online streaming and its connectivity issues. Sometimes we have to roll with the punches on that. So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what do they say? You got to fail your way to success. So
Yeah,
the
exactly.
more we fail, the more we learn, the better we get. And,
Right.
I mean, whether or not this is actually a thing for success or just remains me and you, just something for us to do and talk to each other. I do enjoy it. I do appreciate the friendship
Yeah.
and the company.
Me too, man. It's great. I mean, we're with all the kids, man. We're live in it and coming out with it with everybody else. You know, here we are online, sharing our morning routines and chickens and coffee and all of it. You know.
Heck
So,
yeah, brother.
all right, man. Cheers, bro. Have a great afternoon.
All right. Until next time.